Hello ATSSB friends, let's talk ornamentation and alternative fingerings and the weird stuff that we find in this slow etude of ours for the 2021 school year that is on page 20 if you're using the Artistic Studies book, and it is etude number 18. First of all, let's talk about some of this ornamentation that we see. The first ornament that you find in here is a grace note. And you'll notice the grace note. If you've ever really paid attention to stuff in this book, you'll see that there are two kinds of grace notes. There's a grace note that just looks like an itty bitty teeny tiny note up against the big one, okay? Or you'll see that itty bitty teeny tiny note with a slash through it, okay? Both of the grace notes in this etude have the slash through it. The difference in those notes is that the one that has the slash through it is meant to be very short and very close to its parent note, which is the one that it's usually tied to, the one that's usually after it, okay? So it's supposed to be really, really close and really, really short. For example, measure 12, the first thing you see is a C natural, and it goes up to an A. Now, as a side note, there is also an alternative fingering that you have to use here. The note before this grace note C is a C sharp. In the measure before, in 11, you're coming off of a scale pattern. It starts up on a high B, and then it goes down to A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp. I'm going to use this C sharp right here, okay? Some of you are gonna wanna use your left side C sharp. You're more comfortable over here. That's cool, all right? If you do left side C sharp right there, then the C natural doesn't need the alternative fingering. You just go B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, C, A, okay? Otherwise, what I do, comes out the same way, doesn't really matter, is B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp on the right, because I like to keep all the motion in the hand that's already moving. And then I jump over here to my golf club C, and then jump up to A for my grace note, okay? So I'm gonna start on this high B and show you both fingering patterns. So that was right and then left. Here's the other way. Either way is acceptable as long as it's clean, as long as it's clear. However your best coordinated is the one that you should use. It doesn't matter. Did you notice how the C was very close to the A? Now, however, having said that, please know that the grace notes are not important. They're ornaments, okay? They are the little flame that's on the candle that's stuck in the icing on your big awesome birthday cake. Without the candle, it's still a birthday cake and it still tastes fantastic. It just looks prettier and makes you feel a little bit extra special. But in the end, it's not that big of a deal. The most important notes are the big notes. The parent note, the A that C is going to, that's the one you should focus on. And that note has to happen when your foot goes down. A 1, C, A. The A is what's important, and that's the note that you should push for. The same goes when we're moving into the last note of the etude. We have our fermated trilled E natural. We trill that, and we move down to a slash D, and then we re-articulate that D right afterwards. Again, what's important is to hit the downbeat, okay? So as we trill, that's what we're going for. Did you notice in the trill how I held out the E first and established that this is the note that I'm trilling? I sped my trill up a little bit, slowed it back down, held the E and reestablished it again, and then went to my D. Listen again. That's going to add a little bit of artistry to your playing, and it's going to make a much more mature sound that the judges are going to be looking for. Keep that in mind. All right, so that's the grace notes. Now let's talk about this weird squiggly business that is in measure, oh gosh, what is that? Measure 14. Look at measure 14. You've got these weird squiggly things. They almost look like infinity signs that aren't quite finished. We call those a turn. And in a turn, you do exactly what it's called, and you actually do the shape of the symbol. So you start on the note that's written, which in this case is a D for the first note of measure 14. And then you notice the turn, it goes up, which means you go up to the next note, which is E. Then it comes back even again. So it's going back to D. Then it goes down, which means you're going to go under the D to a C, all right, which in this case, because of the errata, is going to be a C sharp, okay? And then it's going to go back up to the D, all right? And the way that we're going to do this is in a triplet form, okay? So first you play the D, which is on the downbeat. Immediately after that, you're going to play in a triplet form, E, D, C sharp, okay? So D, E, D, C, D, triplet. Listen to how that fits in with the metronome. D triplet, D triplet. All right, then after that, we're going to add the D and E that are written as 16th notes, okay? That D happens on the upbeat. So we have down triplet D, E, down triplet up, E, down triplet D, E. Listen. Again. Now for the next set, the next beat, we're going to follow the same pattern, just starting on different notes. We start on F sharp, triplet G, F sharp, E, and then F sharp to G. Listen to how this fits. Ready, set, here we go. Sorry about that mess up. I can't think of two things at once. I was thinking about what I was saying next. All right, so those are your turns and those are your grace notes. That's your ornamentation, okay? All right, so measure 13, that is where it says continto, and you have 2 sets of 32nd notes and then 2 sets of 16th notes, okay? In my previous video, we talked about how you've got to slow down for the 16th notes. You can't keep playing the same speed. But let's talk about fingerings right here. Right now, as slow as we're going, the second note of that measure is a B natural. As slow as we're going right now, you could get away with playing a B natural, A, G sharp, A. No big deal. You could get away with that if you want. Totally fine. Or you can even play B on the right, which is a really good idea. But if you are one of the students who prefer to play this at the speed that it is marked on your audition, which is too fast in my opinion, then you're going to want to go ahead right now and start using the trill fingering for that beat, the alternative, because you're not going to have time to cross the break that quickly and get everything done, okay? So let me show this option to you. You may be a superstar and may be able to play A, B, A, G sharp, A really fast. You may be able to do that, but if not, here's an alternative for you. You play your A natural like normal, but without your right hand. I know, I tell you never to do that. It's gonna be okay. Without your right hand, so that you can reach up and hit this top side key. That's what these guys are for, believe it or not. You probably never used this in your life, but it's here for a reason. And it's for when you're trilling A to B. Because think about it, if you're trilling A to B, how are you gonna cross the break? That's not very easy. So we add these guys to kind of help us out. Does it sound awesome as a regular old B? Absolutely not. But it's only made to be used when it's gonna last that long. And so your ear doesn't really have time to register that it's kind of an anemic sounding note. So knowing that now, what you can do is use that side fingering if you're going to end up going fast later. So you can't really tell. A, B, A, G sharp, A, and then as you come down, get ready to jump to that C sharp right there. Okay, so there's a little trick that you can use to help yourself out. All right, very good, very good. So the very last thing that I would like to speak to you about is rubato. Rubato is what makes a slow piece go from staying on the metronome, which is how I played it for you in the first video, and what turns it into something that's a little more personal, something that has some emotion and is going to evoke emotion and evoke feeling from your audience. this is what you want to do in your audition. Think about it. If you're auditioning against 75 other people, how are they going to know the difference between that many people? After a while, they all start to sound the same. Take it from me, I've been there. They all start to sound the same. So you've got to figure out what makes you stand out from the crowd. What makes you different? What makes you a more mature player? Rubato is one of those really great tools that you can use to showcase your maturity. Now, what does rubato mean? My flute teacher in college, Kitty Carico, described it to me as push and pull, and I think that's the best way to describe rubato. And push and pull regarding the tempo. So there may be places where the music gets really intense, and in order to make that more known and to just really push your idea through, maybe on the intense spots, you want to speed up and push your tempo just a little bit. However, you can't keep speeding up. When you come to the resolution or the answer to the question, then you want to slow back down and let it linger for a little bit. Let your audience think about what you just played. Okay, so let me take a little snippet here and kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about. So let's just look at the very beginning. So here is just a few measures at metronome 40, okay? And I am just going to play this on the metronome with no extra feeling. I'm going to play the dynamics that are written. I'm going to play the articulation right. There will be nothing wrong with this performance, okay? All right, so I'm starting at the very beginning. 1, te, 2, te. Nothing wrong with that, nothing at all. Now I'm going to turn off my metronome and I'm going to try to evoke an emotion or a memory or a feeling from you, my listener, using push and pull. Don't you think that that was a little more interesting, a little more exciting? I do, and I know that as a judge, that's what I'm listening for, is students who can play me a story, play me a scene from a movie. So listen to this a lot and play this a lot and start trying to find some kind of a memory or a movie scene that's going to make this more real for you and show us, show the judge, show me what you're made of. Rubato is a really great way to enhance the talents that you already have, and it makes you stand out from the crowd. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today on this etude. I wish you the best of luck, and I want you to be kind to yourself. I want you to be kind to your neighbor. I want you to be lovely, wonderful people, and I will see you soon for your next etude. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.